Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by the Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission. The Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission advocates on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel, and we are still here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. Our last segment tonight is with an organization called New Avenues for Youth. That is the umbrella organization, and specifically we're going to be talking about the East Connect, which is the East County arm of New Avenues for Youth. And here to talk about East Connect, we have the outreach coordinator, Mustafa Finney. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. Yeah, so we planned to get together earlier, but the snow made a mess of that, so I'm glad you finally came on. Yeah. New Avenues for Youth has been around for a while. Are they originally from downtown Portland area? Is that right, or am I right about that?
Yeah, so it started back in about 1997.
Okay.
It was created by local businessmen and community members.
And what was the reason for starting this organization?
Well, they got together because they saw an increasing need for the homeless youth that were downtown. Homeless and at-risk youth that were downtown, so they got together and created this organization.
So probably the business people were going, they're hurting my business. How can we? how can we?
Well, hopefully they had some heart in there too, and actually wanted to help.
Yeah, because it really, I mean, there are a lot of businesses that have an issue, and I understand why, because sometimes that'll hurt business if there's kids loitering around in front of your business. But those kids have needs. Obviously, they wouldn't be there if there wasn't, if there wasn't a reason for it. So these people started New Avenues for Youth, and it's been a successful organization for obviously for a while now. Is this just recently though that it came out to East County?
Yes, this is very recently. I started back with New Avenues for Youth in April, and I was hired on as the outreach coordinator to kind of come out to East County and witness what is going on with the youth who are experiencing homelessness out here in East County. And
it's growing, isn't it?
It's growing rapidly.
Yeah.
I mean, the homeless population looks a lot different downtown. We have street and trench youth who are actually staying outside or staying in shelters, and we weren't reaching the youth out in East County in the same way. So it was hard to kind of come out in East County and kind of just figure out what it looks like. What are youth experiencing out here in East County?
So how is it different?
It's different. I would say you don't see as many street and trench youth. A lot
and
of
by street and trench youth, explain to me what you mean by that.
That means that youth who are actually staying on the streets, who are staying in tents.
That's where they live.
That's where they live. Yeah. Yes, on a daily basis.
Wow, that's rough. So what are the kids out here doing?
Yeah, the youth out here. They are resourceful in a different way. They have found family members to stay with. They find different support systems that they can stay with, friends or family. A lot of them are couch surfing. A lot of them are just, kind of one-off living situations wherever they can find a safe or place to stay at the moment.
But it would be one bad situation away from being on the street, I imagine.
Exactly.
Right?
A lot of them are unsafely housed, unstably housed.
Yeah. So what can you do about that? What is it that that the East Connect can do to help those kids?
Well, I mean, really, it's in response to Portland and gentrification that has hit very rapidly, pushing a lot of families out here in East County without the resources and the infrastructure to support them.
Right.
So you have families out here for a long time without resurces.
Yeah, and they're starting to come out here. The social services
yes, a lot of
agencies
different
are starting
organizations.
to. Yeah, but it's they're playing catch up now. So your organization is located in the Rosewood Initiative, is that right? Or are you at a different location?
Yes, so we partner with a bunch of different organizations in East County. One of our first partnerships was with the Rosewood Initiative, which is a great organization.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
We had an office space there, and I was running a sort of drop-in center. So I had youth who could just drop in and who were seeking services could be connected to different services that we'd have.
So you you're able to point them in the direction of certain resources that are available to them? Yeah.
Definitely. That was one of the first tasks that I was appointed with when I got hired, was to kind of create a community and a network of the resources that were already there. So I went out to a bunch of different schools, alternative programs, community centers, and kind of just built a network of the resources that were there and kind of pulled things together.
So what kinds of resources are you talking about? Are you talking about
you know, even basic needs things like hygiene services, you know, where to go for showers, community centers that can offer those, laundry services, you know, meals, and safe places to stay.
Yeah, those are basic needs, and that's pretty tough if you don't have any of those.
Exactly.
What? So most of these kids are out of school, in school, or a variety. What's this?
On my caseload, it's about 50-50. I have a lot of youth who are out of school due to their basic needs not being met. You know, they can't really attend school a lot of the times. You can't really focus on school.
I can't take a shower. I don't have transportation. I don't have had a meal.
Exactly. You can't really focus on that kind of stuff if your basic needs aren't taken care of.
Yeah,
a lot of the students that are in school sometimes just don't have parents who are around. You know, they're kind of doing it on their own. They're kind of staying with friends, but they don't really have that advocate, that family member who can really help them navigate through the school system or kind of navigate to get their basic needs met, get IDs or, you know, just different things you might need.
Can you help them like with transportation, like getting a TriMet pass
Yeah, so
and
we
that kind
can
of
do
thing?
bus passes and TriMet passes and different things like that to help with transportation.
So if somebody, so where are you located now?
So right now we're partnered with Open School, so I have an office out of Open School East, which is like
brand
a block,
new, right?
Yeah, it's like a block away from Rosewood Initiative.
Wow, I haven't been there yet.
It's a beautiful, beautiful campus.
Oh, nice.
And we are going to be actually having our own office space in the Boys and Girls Club that is being built right next to it.
Right there.
Yeah.
You see, they're all coming out here, aren't they?
It's all coming out
I
here.
know.
It's all coming together, slowly but surely.
Yeah, and which is great. That's a wonderful thing. Yeah, well, we just opened another location in Rockwood, so you know we're kind of in close by there too, and it's great that the community is coming together to support the homeless youth and just the youth of the community, but it's got to be a really tough place for kids to be. How does a kid find out about you and know to come to you, just like word on the street sort of thing, or is it you going out to the schools and?
A lot. It's a lot of different things. It's a combination of word of mouth is really strong out here in East County. So if a youth knows that they have a friend who's in the same situation, I've had youth that bring 2 or 3 other youth to me, you know, and support.
Can you help them too?
My friend, you can help them. I know this guy, he can help you out. I've outreach to a lot of the schools, like I said, in alternative programs, and kind of give my information out to counselors and different people who are advocating for youth so they can reach me.
So somebody comes to see you, and they're maybe they're living in a car, you know, or they're living on a friend's couch or whatever. You're able to point them in a place where they can get a shower, they can maybe get a hot meal, or they can get whatever. What if they want to get back into school? Can you help them with that?
Yes, so with my title of outreach coordinator, I'm also a case manager. So one of the first things, I'm trained in AE, which is assertive engagement. So one of the first things in that model is to sit down with your client and really focus on the client and what their needs are and what they want to focus on. So I kind of sit them down. We go through an intake process, which includes some questions about their past, and then we kind of sit down and talk about the future and what their goals are. And from that goal sheet, we form our relationship and how I'm going to be able to help them move forward and kind of.
How many people do you have? How many kids do you have on a caseload? I bet more than you need, probably.
Yeah, yes, the need is really great. I've touched base with about 40 kids since I've started, but I have about 20 on my caseload who I work with on a daily basis. Yeah.
So what kind of help does East Connect need? Do you need volunteers? Is there a need for volunteers to help out, or is there anything for volunteers to do?
Yes, I mean, New Avenues in the greater picture definitely always needs volunteers, and there's a space for that. I mean, there's a spot you can find that on our website.
Okay. Are you too new in East County
Connect,
to really
I'm kind of
have that
too new
figured out yet?
to really need volunteers in that sense, but definitely in the future we'll need things like that. We just hired an employment specialist as well, so businesses who are willing to work with New Avenues and kind of work with our employment specialists to provide employment or even internships.
Because that can be tough if
really.
a kid maybe has dropped out of school or doesn't have an address. That's always tough for somebody to get a job if you don't have an address.
Definitely.
That's an issue.
Definitely.
Or if they can't take a shower and have nice clothes to wear to go for an interview. That kind of, I mean, those are
Or they
all.
don't have communication. You know, they can't call or they can't email
Yeah,
back
how
and
am I going to
forth.
let you know that, you know, there's
Exactly.
a job there?
So businesses who are willing to work with New Avenues and kind of help with that transition period and work with the employment specialists to really provide a supportive environment for the youth to be successful.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's needed. Yeah.
Well, that's important. So, what are options for kids? So, say they want to go back to school, and you're able to get them. Can they go back to a regular public school? Do you try to steer kids toward the alternative schools? Does it just depend on their situation?
It really depends on their situation, where they're at. I have youth who don't have a lot of credits, so sometimes they want things like Job Corps. Or they want, sometimes they just want to start working. They want to get some skills. They want to get their hands on something and start doing things. A lot of the youth I work with have not really been successful in the school system just because of basic needs, but also they are not conforming to the traditional school system.
And
So,
not everything works for everybody, right? So if there are businesses out there that are willing to be open to hiring the kids that you've worked with, can they just contact you and start that relationship with you to
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Or
They
the
can
employment specialist that you just hired?
They can contact the employment specialist. They can contact anyone in New Avenues for Youth Law.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then are there other things that you need? I mean, do you have a need for donations to help with your work out here? If somebody wanted to do that?
Definitely, we always take
You
donations.
choose that way, right?
Yeah, we always take donations. I work with ages 13 to 21,
okay.
and a lot of a need I see is boys' clothing, teenage boy clothing.
Because they're growing so darn fast.
Right.
Yeah, they always need something new every
I have
week.
a lot of female clothing, but a lot of teenage boys' clothing
okay.
I don't have a lot of.
Okay.
So that's something we're always looking for.
Before we run out of time, let me ask you this question. What about issues of mental health and substance abuse? If it's very obvious to you that that is an issue, or that it might be an issue, do you have places to refer those kids? And
We definitely do.
Yeah.
We have counselors and case managers who specialize in that kind of stuff. New Avenues for Youth is just one organization under the umbrella of the HYC, which is the Homeless Youth Continuum,
I don't
which
know.
are a couple different organizations under that umbrella, and we all work together to support the youth. And if we don't have the services, then there's an organization who does.
Oh,
So
see, that's
we are
great.
able
And,
to refer them.
You find that more and more that nonprofits are working together and collaborating to provide services, which I think is a big step in the right direction. Because
Definitely.
I think we can serve a lot more people that way. I'm really glad to hear that you're out here doing this and that you're out in East County, because there is, like you said, a real need. So if people are interested in finding out more, they can go to the website newavenues.org.
And if they know any youth who are in need, they can contact me or email me directly.
And would they just let you know how to find those kids, or just let you know about them?
Definitely just kind of reach out and let me know the situation, and then we
Okay.
can contact
And then you
each
can go
other.
from there and
and
figure it
go
out.
there. Yeah.
Nice. That's good. Well, you're very welcoming. I'm sure that that the kids feel comfortable there with you. So thanks for the work you do. I appreciate it. And thanks for coming on Community Hotline to tell us about it. I'll check back with you maybe in 6 months, and you can let us know how you're doing there at Open
Definitely.
School and how it's all going. So
Definitely.
thanks very much, Mustafa.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Thanks for watching Community Hotline tonight. We'll be back here next week with more. And in the meantime, do check out the nonprofits we talked to tonight. If you have money, donate. If you want to get involved, volunteer. But just become engaged in your community. It's Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We'll see you next week.
Hotline is made possible with generous support by the Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission. The Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission advocates on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
What local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.
The Rosewood Initiative is a nonprofit community center located on 162nd and Stark. We're focused on serving, building, and connecting the community to resources that will better their lives. Rosewood is so much more than a building. We're a community.